I guess coming in, I had an interest in international, specifically international business. I was an international trade undergrad, and I had my eyes set on these large international organizations as my end goal, so like World Bank or the United Nations. And so when I started looking for programs, I wanted to find one that combined both the business side and the international side, and that's how I came to decide on this program. I think when you combine the two degrees, it gives you a more, three-dimensional education on whichever area you're focusing on. For myself, my business interest is in strategy, so I took that, and at GSPIA, or Graduate School of Public and International Affairs, I was interested in international trade. So I took those and was able to apply what I learned at Katz in the MBA program to my classes at the Graduate School of Public and International Affairs. And through doing that, I felt like it gave me, a more well-rounded education, a better understanding of what I was talking about in both areas, since they are so intertwined. I think the biggest advantage to doing it at the same time is that you can get your 2 degrees in a much shorter amount of time. So it's 2.5 years, as opposed to if you did them separately, it would take 3 or 4 years. So there's a lot of value in doing them concurrently. If you just think about what you could be doing with your time otherwise, you can get in, get your degrees, and get back to your life, as opposed to having to take that 4 years to get both degrees. Katz, when I looked into it more, had one of the highest value for money rankings you can get. And I really, having been here this is into my 2nd year, I definitely believe that. GSPIA is also a well-known international affairs school, so putting that all together, it kind of sealed the decision for me. I think the most surprising thing was actually after my first year at Katz, when I went to GSPIA, how different the atmosphere is. Katz, obviously being the MBA program, is very business focused, whereas GSPIA it's an international affairs school, a public policy school, so there's a lot more political debate, a lot more talking about theory, a lot more talking about current events in the news, things like, conflicts in other countries, things like that. So it was definitely a different feel at both of the schools. And I guess for someone interested in the joint degree program, that would be what you're looking for, the different aspects and bringing them together. For me, right now, I'm doing, both of the programs simultaneously this semester. When I started, I was just doing Katz, and then I did GSPIA. But since I'm nearing the end of my degree, the classes start to be mixed. So a lot of the electives that I take at Katz are in the evening, and a lot of my core courses at GSPIA are in the mornings. The courses at GSPIA are 3 hours long, as opposed to the typical Katz course, which is just an hour and a half. So GSPIA classes meet once a week, and I decided to put mine in the morning. So you sit for class for 3 hours, and that really opens up the rest of the day for you to work on your projects or reading assignments. Coming in, it takes a little getting used to, because for a lot of people that come into the MBA program, they've been away from school for a while. I was working for 2 years before I came back to school. So you kind of go from a study mode to a work mode, and you have to kind of get back into the swing of things at school. So there's a lot of balancing your personal life with your school life, and if you're working, there's that aspect of it too. But with good time management, it's definitely possible. Lots of people do it, so don't worry about that so much. This semester, I really like my international trade courses. I'm doing international trade and international trade law, and I also have an econ course that I really like, which is managing risk in a global enterprise. So those have all been really interesting to me. One of my other favorites that I mentioned before was international finance. I'm not really a finance guy, but it really linked into a lot of the international things that I was talking about in my other courses, so I found it really interesting. With the joint degree, you get the opportunity to take classes at both schools that have an international aspect. So for people that are interested in international trade or things like that, like myself, it's a great opportunity. At Katz, we have a lot of different clubs that are focused around core business areas. So you have your finance club, your marketing club, consulting club, things like that. There are a lot of guest speakers that come and visit both schools from private companies, from the government, from international organizations. You have so many opportunities to network and just meet new people. We also have things with the international students, like an India night, Germany night, Asia night, where the international students kind of get to share their culture with the students at Katz. GSPIA as well has a lot of different activities going on. There are a lot of international students in both, so you get to kind of participate in those type of activities. Most important thing, it's definitely that coming in, what I thought I wanted to do has changed from then until now. I guess being in the program and taking a lot of different classes, having access to so many different areas helps you focus in more on what it is specifically that you want to do. I had thought maybe I would be interested in going to the United Nations. That was my big picture, but I've kind of honed it in since then and found that I'm really interested in international trade. And so now I might be interested in doing something with the government, like international trade work for commerce, or maybe doing like an international government relations for a private company. So I guess the most important thing was for me to find out what it really was that I was interested in. The way that you can tailor the program to what you are interested in is the greatest benefit of this program. There's a number of concentrations at Katz. You know, you have your core business, finance, accounting, strategy, HR and logistics, things like that. And at GSPIA, you have your security and intelligence studies, human security, and global political economy, all under the international affairs program. So any number of different interests could be brought in and tailored to a specific program. An employer looking at someone with a joint degree would see that we have that extra edge over someone with just one or the other. Because you get so much out of doing the programs together, it kind of gives you, like I said, a more rounded education in whichever area you decide to pursue. So for me, my hope is that whether I go private or public, I will be able to bring the knowledge that I have from these two programs to the table for that employer, which is hopefully going to give me a leg up over the competition.